Hey Raiders fans, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Las Vegas Raiders. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. MAXX CROSBY is quickly becoming the talk of the town in Las Vegas. And what is happening around the Raiders right now feels like the early stages of something much bigger than just a strong start to a season. There are whispers inside the locker room, murmurs among the beat reporters who cover the team daily, and even casual conversations among fans at bars along the Strip that suggest CROSBY is no longer just another defensive end making plays. He is becoming the heart, the pulse, the face of the franchise. And if you pay close attention, you'll notice that the energy around him is different from the typical hype that comes when a player racks up sacks or makes highlight reels. This is more than raw statistics. This is aura, influence, and the kind of leadership that draws teammates closer. Raiders insiders say that CROSBY's work ethic is borderline obsessive, arriving earlier than anyone and leaving later than most. He reportedly studies film late into the night, texting teammates ideas about technique and opposing tendencies. That type of dedication rubs off on a squad that has often been searching for stability. Now, whispers grow louder. CROSBY may be the new cornerstone. The fascinating part about this rising narrative is how sudden it all feels, yet when you dig deeper, it actually makes perfect sense. CROSBY wasn't a top 5 pick blessed with untouchable hype from the start. Instead, he has built this reputation brick by brick, workout by workout, snap by snap. People inside the organization recall how he entered as a hungry, undersized kid with something to prove, but now he has transformed his frame, sharpened his technique, and brought an edge to the team that no one can ignore. Sources close to the Raiders talk about how teammates have started mirroring his mentality, attacking practices with more fire, pushing harder in drills, and holding themselves accountable in ways that previously were inconsistent. It's like CROSBY has unlocked something hidden in this roster. Even coaches reportedly rely on his voice in team meetings, giving him a platform to challenge others, which is rare for someone who hasn't yet reached the veteran twilight of his career. Fans are buzzing too, noting how his motor never seems to stop. In the NFL, effort can inspire and effort can lead. CROSBY is embodying both. There's also a sense of symbolism here, because for years the Raiders have been known as a franchise searching for identity in the modern era. They moved cities, they cycled through coaches, they signed veterans hoping to recreate past glories, but the true anchor never seemed to materialize. Now, it appears CROSBY could be that missing piece of identity. He is young, relentless, charismatic, and perfectly suited for a fan base that thrives on toughness and passion. Rumors circulate that the front office is already planning to build marketing campaigns around him, placing him as the visual embodiment of the Raiders brand. Beyond the stadium walls, sponsorship chatter is beginning to surface, with companies seeing CROSBY as more than just a football player, but as a marketable face of discipline and intensity. He doesn't fit the stereotype of a flashy Vegas star, yet maybe that's exactly why he stands out even more. His blue-collar style is a refreshing contrast to the glittering lights around Allegiant Stadium. Raiders Nation seems to believe they've finally found a player who embodies both old-school grit and modern star power. But what makes this rumor so intriguing is that CROSBY's rise doesn't seem to come at the expense of ego or arrogance. Those who know him insist that he is approachable, grounded, and genuinely invested in helping those around him succeed. Several younger players have reportedly said they view CROSBY almost like an older brother, someone who checks in on them, motivates them, and ensures they feel part of the team. In a league where locker room dynamics can make or break seasons, having a figure like that can be invaluable. Coaches have noticed too, mentioning quietly in interviews that CROSBY sets a tone of accountability without needing to shout or grandstand. He leads by consistency. And when the most productive guy is also the most committed, excuses evaporate for everyone else. This dynamic is fueling speculation that CROSBY isn't just the defensive star, but potentially the cultural leader of the entire team. You can almost sense that his personality is reprogramming what it means to be a Raider in this new era. It's no wonder fans are chanting his name louder every week, pushing his legend higher. Still, as every rumor develops, there are questions and uncertainties that keep the narrative alive. Can Crosby sustain this relentless pace across an entire season? Will opposing offenses adjust, double-team him, and force other Raiders to step up? Analysts wonder if too much pressure is being placed on one player, even though insiders believe he thrives in high-pressure moments. The whispers among NFL circles say that Crosby welcomes the challenge and almost feeds off the doubt, using it as fuel to sharpen his craft. And yet, the bigger picture looms. The Raiders have often had stars emerge only for momentum to fade, either through injuries, controversies, or organizational missteps. Could Crosby finally be the exception, the one who rises above the chaos and delivers stability? This tension between hope and uncertainty is exactly what makes his story so compelling. For fans who have lived through decades of unpredictability, having a player who looks and feels like a sure bet is both exciting and nerve-wracking. The narrative writes itself, but the ending remains unwritten. What seems undeniable, however, is that the energy around Crosby has altered the conversation about the Raiders. National media outlets are starting to take notice, devoting more airtime to his highlights and speculating about his ceiling. Teammates drop subtle comments in interviews, almost hinting that they believe he is destined for awards, Pro Bowls, maybe even All-Pro recognition. Social media clips of his plays go viral within hours, creating a cycle of buzz that fuels the rumor mill even more. What was once a storyline followed mainly by Raider Nation has now spilled into mainstream football discourse. And through it all, Crosby keeps playing, keeps grinding, keeps showing up as if none of the hype matters. That humble, work-first mentality is becoming part of the lore surrounding him, turning rumors into belief and belief into near certainty that he is not just a star, but the star. Whether the Raiders as a whole rise to match his level remains to be seen, but right now, all signs point to MAXX Crosby becoming the centerpiece of a new Raiders era. The narrative surrounding MAXX Crosby has now reached a point where even rival teams are beginning to acknowledge his presence in ways that go beyond the usual polite respect. Quarterbacks have admitted off the record that they feel his shadow, even when he isn't making direct contact, an invisible pressure that disrupts timing and rhythm. Offensive coordinators are rumored to spend entire evenings rewriting game plans specifically to account for his motor, which never seems to stop. That level of fear is rare, usually reserved for generational defenders, and the buzz suggests Crosby is climbing into that category. Insiders claim that coaches are quietly thrilled by this development, because when opponents fear one player, it creates opportunities for everyone else around him. Teammates on the defensive line are already enjoying less attention, which translates into bigger numbers and more confidence. It feels like a chain reaction. Crosby's relentlessness fuels the pass rush, which fuels the secondary, which in turn energizes the entire unit. These whispers, growing louder each week, paint a picture of a defender who isn't just excelling individually, but is fundamentally reshaping how opponents must prepare for the Raiders. Some believe the true magic of Crosby's rise is his alignment with the history and mystique of the Raiders franchise. This is a team forever linked with legends who embodied grit, toughness, and defiance against the odds. Names like Howie Long, Jack Tatum, and Lyle Alzado come up whenever old fans reminisce about what made the Raiders so feared decades ago. Now, there's a growing sentiment that Crosby could be carrying that torch into the modern NFL. He doesn't just play hard. He plays with a certain controlled fury, the kind of energy that resonates with a fan base that has always prided itself on being a little different, a little more rugged, and a lot more passionate than the rest. Rumor has it that even Raiders alumni are taking notice, reaching out to show support, recognizing him as the kind of player who restores that old mystique. In a way, Crosby represents both a bridge to the past and a doorway to the future, giving Raider Nation something they've been desperate for. A modern hero who feels authentically connected to the franchise's rebellious DNA. Yet what adds intrigue is that Crosby's story isn't polished or packaged. It's raw, it's human, and that makes it resonate more. People close to him whisper about his struggles early in his career, about the obstacles he faced off the field, and how those experiences have shaped the relentless man we see today. This vulnerability, combined with his toughness, creates a layered personality that fans can rally behind. The rumor mill suggests that even his teammates respect not just his play, but his honesty about personal growth. In a league filled with superstars who sometimes feel distant or untouchable, Crosby comes across as someone real, someone who earned every bit of his success the hard way. And that authenticity bleeds into his leadership. Young defenders reportedly follow him not just because of his stats, but because he proves through his own journey that redemption and reinvention are possible. The whispers say Crosby's example is changing the culture inside the building, creating a team atmosphere that is more open, more united, and more resilient than in previous years. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The marketing side of the NFL is always watching for the next big star to elevate into crossover status, and Crosby is firmly on that radar. Insiders suggest that executives are already plotting ways to position him not just as a defensive standout, but as a household name across the league. His image, a relentless grinder with a fearless attitude, fits perfectly into highlight reels, promotional campaigns, and national commercials. Behind the scenes, there are rumors of sponsorship deals beginning to pile up, with brands eager to associate themselves with his story. But unlike other athletes who chase that spotlight, Crosby reportedly keeps his focus locked on football, which paradoxically makes him even more appealing. Fans love stars who seem immune to distractions, who treat fame as a byproduct rather than a goal. If these whispers are true, the NFL could be looking at its next defensive poster boy, the kind of figure young fans imitate in backyards and high schools across America. Crosby's rise is no longer just about football. It's about image, culture, and the possibility of transcending the sport itself. However, the biggest question swirling in these rumors is whether Crosby's dominance can translate into sustained team success. Football is never about one man, no matter how great, and skeptics point out that the Raiders have historically struggled to build consistency around their stars. Yet, there are hints that Crosby's presence might be the very factor that changes that narrative. Coaches are allegedly more comfortable building defensive schemes around him, allowing other pieces to fit more naturally. Young players feel empowered to rise alongside him, sensing the possibility of being part of something historic. And most importantly, fans are starting to believe again. After years of frustration, the energy inside Allegiant Stadium feels different, like the spark of a true contender might finally be igniting. The rumor mill insists that if Crosby can sustain this momentum, the Raiders could pivot from perennial underdogs to legitimate threats, rewriting their place in the AFC landscape. For Raider Nation, hope has always been a dangerous but irresistible emotion, and Crosby seems to be fueling it week by week. As this buzz continues, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. MAXX Crosby is no longer just a defensive standout. He is becoming a phenomenon. His story combines talent, perseverance, authenticity, and timing in a way that feels almost cinematic. The whispers about his leadership, his influence, and his marketability are converging into one powerful narrative: that he is the new cornerstone, the foundation upon which the Raiders can build a new era. Fans sense it, analysts sense it, even opponents quietly admit it. And while rumors can sometimes be exaggerated, in Crosby's case the evidence seems undeniable every time he steps on the field. Whether it's a sack, a chase-down tackle, or simply the relentless energy he exudes, his impact is changing the atmosphere in Las Vegas. Raider Nation may have finally found their next legend. And if the whispers are true, this is only the beginning of a story that will define the team for years to come. Crosby isn't just the present of the Raiders. He might very well be their future, their identity, and their chance at glory reborn. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.